Hi guys, how are you all doing? Hope all of you are doing well and are safe with your families at home. Well, it's the starting of monsoon season today, and that's why you can hear a lot of buzz of crickets and other insects behind in the background. So if you do hear some noise, I'm sorry about that, because we are in the middle of a lot of trees and stuff like that. But talking about a lot of noise and a lot of buzz, this here is the all new City. It's a car which really has been the bedrock of sales for Honda in India. The City brand really has been very strong for Honda, and the new car now, as you can see, looks very similar to the much bigger and much more expensive Honda Civic. Yes, this is the City and does look very similar to the Civic. It looks very upmarket, very urbane from the outside, and I think it looks very posh as well. But today we're here to talk to you and tell you whether you should consider buying this car if you're in the market for a mid-size sedan, and whether it is better than most of its other rivals, including the Maruti Suzuki Ciaz, the Hyundai Verna, as well as the Skoda Rapid. Now, the big talking point about this car, apart from those looks, is of course the fact that you now get connected apps on this car. Honda has finally launched some connected apps which make it a connected car. So let's jump inside, show you the interiors, drive it around, and of course by the end of the review you'll let me know what you think of the video, and I'll let you know what is the City all about. Let's get started. Well, so before going further, if you are planning to get your car serviced or repaired, it might be regular servicing of the car, or it might be some repair work to the body parts or the body panels, then I think you should check out the Budmo app and the Budmo website. It's BOODMO, and I'll put the link in the description box below. Now, they are the online experts in spare parts, and they have the most extensive catalog of spare parts, both for servicing parts, regular parts, engine parts, as well as for body parts. And they have the most extensive catalog, as I just said. So you might be looking for some fog lamps for your car, you might be owning a Swift, you might be owning an Alto, you might be owning a more expensive car, you might be owning a BMW 7 Series or a 5 Series. They have parts for cars across the range, and they have the most extensive catalog. So check them out on the website. Also check them out on the Google Play Store as well as the iOS App Store, because they're available on both places, and they have very good prices, they have genuine parts, and they also offer you hassle-free and no nonsense doorstep delivery. You don't have to take any stress about it. They'll offer you the part right at your doorstep. So if you are someone who always thinks that your local service mechanic is charging extra for parts, then check out the prices on the app as well as on the website, and I'm sure that you'll find what you're looking for. Even if your local service guy and your local mechanic doesn't have the parts, Budmo promises to deliver those parts to you, and they will source the parts from somewhere and have them delivered at your doorstep. So check the app out today, check the website out today, and I'm sure you'll agree with what I just said. Now let's go back to our video. Well, so here I'm in the cabin of the new Honda City, and I have to pinch myself and remind me that this is not the Civic, but this is actually the City. It does feel like a miniature version of Civic, even inside the cabin. So that's something which Honda has done very well to replicate the feel and the ambience of a much bigger car inside this cabin. Now, in terms of the quality, Honda definitely has improved it by quite a fair bit compared to the last generation of the car. This car has more consistent plastics all across, and the quality also is one notch up. You get very good materials over here on top of the dashboard. Even the door panel is made from good materials, and even the center console, the lower end of the center console, a place where a lot of people don't pay attention to, is nicely bolted together and is made from decent materials as well. One big change inside the car is that touch panel for the AC vents is now out, and you get a more traditional rotary knob over here, and this is much better to operate and has a much more tactile feel. Another big addition on this car is of course the fact that touchscreen is bigger in size, but this car now gets connected apps. It comes with the Honda Connect app, and you can also use voice enabled commands through Alexa on this car, so that's something which is great. Now That Honda Connect app tells you a lot of stuff about the car. You can get to know where the car is parked, how much fuel is left, how many more kilometers you can cover, and also check out the tire pressure on all tires and do a host of other activities on this car through that app. So this is a connected car, and Honda's done a great job with that app as well. Now in terms of the design, as I just said, it looks like the miniature version of the Civic. In terms of the comfort, the seats of the City have always been the best place to be, and these seats are no different. You get excellent support for your under thighs, great support for your lower back, side bolstering is also there, and I reckon the seats on the City are one of the best in the business. Unfortunately, they still don't have the front cool seats like the Hyundai Verna, so that's one big feature which is missing. But apart from that, you get a whole host of other features. You get automatic headlamps as well on this version, and the dials also look nice and sporty because they are digital, and you also get a host of functions in them, including of course functions to check out how many kilometers you can go, and also a G-force meter, which is a nice touch inside the cabin. Overall, an excellent place to be in terms of utility. Couple of beverage holders here, one big tray where you can keep a couple of cell phones, couple of charging points, 12 volts, a charger is here, of course 2 USBs over here, and the door bins are large enough to house those big 1 bottles from your home. I'll give the front end of the cabin of the new City 10 out of 10. Now let's jump in the back seat and see how good that really is. Well, so here I'm inside the back seat of the Honda City, and my preference is 5'10". If you are someone who is 5'10" and your driver is also about 5'10", then you'll be more than sufficient in these seats in terms of comfort and space. As you can see, knee room is more than sufficient, more than adequate, and headroom also is quite good. Now, if you are someone who just buys this car for the backseat experience, then this is the car to go for in the mid-size segment. In fact, this is the car to go for across segments up to 20 odd lakh rupees, because this really is a fantastic car, not only for space but also for comfort. As you can see, the seats are nice and cushiony, the backrest angle is spot on, and I have a nice 90-degree angle for my hip as well as for my knee, so you really do sit on these seats very comfortably. And one of the best cars for long distance journeys. What also makes it a nice place to be is the big window at the back, which gives it a very bright and airy feel. Overall, as I just said, one of the best cars across segments up to 20 lakh rupees for the sheer amount of space as well as comfort. 10 out of 10 in the backseat department. Well, to talk about the boot of the new Honda City, it's a nice and deep boot. It's a square boot as well, which means that if you have a big and heavy box to load, you can easily load it without any issues at all. There's a bit of a sill over here, but it's not too much, and this sill is present on all other its rivals. So what that means is that it's at par with its other rivals. What you'll enjoy about this car though is the wide aperture, which means that those big Amazon boxes will go into it without any fuss whatsoever. Overall, the boot on the new City is very generous and very impressive, and I'll give it a good score of 9 out of 10. Well, so here I am driving the all new Honda City. Now this car, remember, comes with two engine options. There's a diesel as well as a petrol motor on sale, just like the older version of the car. And if you're still interested in the older version, that's still available on sale at Honda dealerships by checking out the description box. We'll put the link over there. Now in terms of the engine, I think the iVTEC engine is a gem of an engine. It's just a velvety, smooth, lovely engine, and it's just a very good day when you're driving this car, because you just have a smile on your face. It's just a smooth engine, as I just said, as smooth as silk. And if you call yourself someone who just loves to drive all day long, then this is the engine that you will love to pick, not only on this car but across any car in this segment. I think it's a beautiful engine in terms of refinement, responsiveness as well as smoothness. What you'll also like about this engine is the fact that even when you rev it hard towards its red line, it just loves to hit that red line, and it delivers very good power. What also aids this engine is the gearbox. You get a CVT automatic as well as a 6-speed manual, and the manual gearbox is a very nice unit, and it's got very slick throws. It's got short throws, so you don't have to use your hand like this to keep changing gears all day long, and it's also got light throws. Hondas have always been known to offer you very good gearboxes, and it's no different on the new Honda City. Now, suspension of the new City is on the side of comfort. Yes, Honda has tuned it more for people who prefer the back seat, so it's tuned more for comfort. But that's not to say that it's not a good car for people who enjoy driving themselves, because even though the suspension is on the softer side, it is a suspension which offers you some fun for the keen driver, because if you take it up the hills, the grip level from the tires is very good. The steering wheel is really fantastic because it offers you very good communication. It's very precise, it's very accurate, and it's got the right amount of weight in it. It's neither too heavy so that and it's got the right amount of weight in it. It's neither too heavy that you start feeling tired at the end of a long day, and neither is it so soft that you start feeling nervous out there on the highway and decide to reduce speed. So it's got the right amount of weight, and as I just said, it's got the right amount of communication as well, because it's a very crisp steering wheel. What you also like is a very well balanced chassis. The chassis of this car is very finely tuned, so if you want to change directions quickly, and if you're going up the hills and you want to take corners in a very sharp way, then this car will be your friend, because it will play well with you. And as I just said, in terms of the driving bits, it's a fantastic car to drive, because the engine loves to rev. It delivers very good performance even near its red line, and it remains very quiet even when you rev it hard. Now, one thing about the City which you'll really like is the fact that it masks its speed very well, and that's, as I just said, because of the 6-speed gearbox as well, and also because of the refinement. Now, when this car is doing speeds in excess of 100 kph, the engine is at a relatively low 1700-1800 rpm, which makes the cabin very quiet in top gear. There's hardly any wind noise, there's no tire noise, and there's also no engine roar, which makes the cabin a nice and isolated place to be in. Overall, I think that the City has something in it for the keen driver, and definitely deserves a double thumbs up from my side. And it's one of the better cars out there, especially if you decide to buy the iVTEC engine, which, as I just said, is a gem of an engine. Well, so talking about the Honda City, it's easy to see why this car has been such a sales success for Honda, and the new version of the car really does take the game further away from its rivals. This car offers you the best backseat experience, it offers you the best comfort, the best space, as well as the best ambience inside the back seats. It also offers you a very punchy and a very refined petrol engine in the iVTEC. It really is one of the best engines in this segment, and it also offers you very good looks on the outside. Looks very premium and very posh. But that's not all. It also now comes with all those connected apps, which makes it a very premium car in its own right. Overall, what I'm trying to say is that this is one of the best cars out there across segments, and definitely the best car in the mid-size sedan segment. And with that, I'll just give it a double thumbs up and tell you that if you're in the market for a mid-size sedan, you should definitely go ahead and check it out at a Honda dealership. It's bye for now, and thanks for watching.